All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another 110 Football Watch-Along Party. And this one is like the first real official one, Jessica, because these are people that came, they're fans that wanted to hang out with us. Hello, everyone back there. You guys are winners of our Watch Party social media contest. For once, we have fans.
I know.
Can you believe it?
We have fans. I love it. I'm happy that there's people other than just you and I here.
I've heard the chat's hot, so if you guys are in the chat, let us know how much you're jealous of the people behind us, and you can also let us know that if it doesn't go well, we'll never see them again. That's just the way we work around here. We're all about LAFC black and gold, and you guys. So we just make sure. And look, everyone's so excited that you're back. They don't care at all about me.
Fair enough. You guys know I'm the star of the show. So Vince, you're my co-host.
All right. Well,
my co-host for today.
If I just duck out for a little bit, I'm sure you'll be fine. One of these fine people will just fill in for me, and it'll just be you two, and I'll never be seen from or heard of them again.
Drop somebody else into this seat. It'll be the same. No, I was joking.
Okay, so we're doing this because LAFC is obviously on the road. They are in Colorado at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. I just wanted to say that once. Okay. So basically what we do here is we're here to give you guys some alternative commentary. And because this game especially is on Twitter, TUDN Unimas, we have heard you guys loud and clear that they're not very good sometimes at calling the game. So maybe just crank that volume down on that TV. You can pot us up and we'll have a great time. And we'll involve some of our friends here to go through it. I think there's going to be a special appearance or two possibly in the second half. But let's talk a little bit about this game, Jessica. Let's start with the starting 11. Cool. Some changes.
Yeah.
Take me around the starting 11 and where you feel comfortable, where you feel a little worried.
Oh, okay. Well, McCarthy in goal. Hollingshead, make sure I said it right that time.
Yeah, you got it.
Ibiaga, Fall, and Palacios. I think we kind of knew that it would be a different backline or this type of backline because we have some injuries. Cifuentes, Janela, Acosta. Janela's coming in for Ilie, and then you have Vela, Arango, and Apoku up top. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really have that much worries. Like, I'm not really feeling. We've seen a lot of Hollingshead this season already, so he's already acclimated to the squad. We've seen McCarthy play in the Open Cup. So everybody that's come in has had some playing time. So I'm not really looking at this lineup like, okay, there's any glaring worries, but what about you? Do you see anything that might be an issue or?
So I think the two, obviously you've noted the two spots where people might be curious about. John McCarthy was very good against Orange County, didn't have to do that much though. Right. And LAFC does have one of the best defenses this year. The underlying numbers show that they give up the least big chances. So I feel confident with either John McCarthy or Maxime Crepeau. Now, Pancho Janela. Pancho Janela is an immensely talented player, but I feel like he has never found exactly what his role should be in this team. Last season, he played well when we played with wingbacks and in a 2, so it seems like he needs a buddy. Now, the last time he started was against Orlando. He picked up an early yellow, but also Ilie Sanchez was in that game, so he was not the 6. He was more of an 8 in that game, more of a roving player. I feel like that does not do him justice to his skill set.
What is his best skill set then?
Passing. He's a
Okay.
great passer of the ball. He has a pretty good first touch, but where he is maybe deficient is in his athleticism. And when you put him as an 8, you've got to be athletic.
Well, I think then that's where, Kellyn Acosta and Cifuentes come in because they're extremely athletic. They're pretty aggressive on and off the ball. So I do think that if Janela is lacking in that two-way ability, that box-to-box ability, you'll have somebody there to cover him. So it's going to be a team job in there in the midfield. And I still think we have good numbers in there. We have a good midfield 3 in there to do the job.
Luis Reyes is in the chat saying that it's going to be a tough one. And I agree with him because as I pointed out, that one big stat, Colorado is 21 consecutive games unbeaten at home. So,
well, I said it was the altitude. I think that's what's helping them, but you don't seem to buy that.
I mean, for one game, yeah, a little bit, but they're professional athletes, like Kellyn Acosta knows what it's like.
Have you ever played in high altitude?
I have. When you come back, it's amazing because then you can feel like you can just run forever. However, when you're there, yes, it definitely is a hindrance. But guys like Kellyn Acosta have gone to Azteca. They played at altitude.
Yeah.
The Ecuadorians in South America, there's definitely altitude capitals there. When you go to Bolivia, which I think is actually the highest altitude of any of the stadiums that you in
So
major
essentially,
competitions.
you're saying my excuse is not holding water.
Well, Steve Cherundolo was asked about it, and he said the best thing you can do is try not to think about it and don't use it as an excuse. So I'm going to go with the coach's line. You know how it is. I got to see him every week. So if he hears word that I'm going against it, I'll be in trouble.
How can we hurt them then? I mean, we have besides Brian Rodriguez, we have our strongest front line up there. You know, Masovsky's on the bench. We should be able to get something out of this, right? Score a couple goals maybe, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you have to do is what you did to them that first game of the season. You just put the game on your terms. So if they're able to come out with not slow start and specifically score a goal, I think that really changes the complexion of the game, because I don't think this Colorado team is kind of set up. They're pretty strong. They're pretty solid. They're not super like high level talented, like top heavy.
Yeah.
But so when you play against them, I think the best thing to know is that they're going to be compact, and they're going to want to wrestle control of the game. If you can win that, you know, the right to play, and you kind of take control of the game, I don't know if they can chase the game quite as well as other teams can.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see a fast start, a couple of goals early, so that we can kind of just relax into our game, use possession to tire them out. But I do think that we have an issue kind of starting quickly and getting the goals. I mean, it just feels like we have so many good attacking players, but we just can't put the ball in the back of the net early. And then maybe we concede, and then it's an uphill battle. And I don't think you want to do that away from home against the Colorado Rapids today. I'm not sure we'll be able to come back in that scenario.
So what's interesting is when you say slow start, or when we both say slow start, we obviously reference scoring a goal. For me, the best way for this team as constituted to not have a slow start is actually for the way the front three press.
Okay.
Because I as we brought up Pancho Janela and his role and his little bit of lack of athleticism, if they're able to press well from the front, it sets up each line behind them. And I feel like we won't see Pancho Janela chasing. So for me, it's really contingent on Chicho Arango. When he's in the mood and also kind of on the same page with those other two attackers, they press really well. When he's a bit out of it and a bit confused, it takes a little bit longer for LAFC to get in the game.
Yeah, the pressing is going to be a big one. It's also just a really good chance creator if you can get somebody on the back foot and press them into mistakes. I mean, it's a very underrated way of creating chances. And LAFC, like you said, when they're on it, they do a good job. I just think, we just have to go out there and play our game and bolster maybe somebody like Janela and make sure that he just doesn't get exposed in midfield. I don't think he will. But I do hear what you're saying. Like, if they press from the front and they get that initial amount of pressure onto Colorado, then, maybe we'll be all right in midfield as well. So I completely agree with that. What about Vela?
What about him?
What are our expectations of Carlos Vela today? Beyond just the obvious be the star, I mean,
it's been a while. So yeah, I think this is one of those games where you look to Carlos Vela and say, you haven't been bad in the past couple of games, but could you try to put us on your back a little bit and carry this game a little bit better than you have in past where we haven't needed you. But yeah, it's on the road. Like we said, when you go on the road, maybe you need something special to happen. Set pieces we're good at. We know that. Lead the league in set piece goals. That's something that's dangerous. And I know that Colorado's got to be worried about that, because if we can steal a set piece goal and then, like I said, really control the game, that's big. But also on top of it, if you have Carlos Vela doing what he does, then we can get there. So we've got about 2-ish minutes till kickoff. So let's do some predictions. And I want the fans that are here with us to have some predictions ready. Okay. But I'm going to go. So you guys think about it while I go to Jessica. Jessica, prediction.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 2-1 scoreline, 2-1 to LAFC. I do think we will concede early, but come back like we kind of always do. I do think we'll have enough. It's risky, but I think we may have just enough to come back once we inevitably give up that early-ish goal. I'm also predicting Chiqui Palacios to have a really good game. When he plays well, we seem to play well, and he's been on fire lately, and I've been very happy watching him play. I think he's really grown as a left back. What do you think?
Okay, I'm going to go 1-1, only because of that unbeaten. I'm just saying the unbeaten streak. I want to be right. It's not about – I just want to be right. By the way, I called the Portland game 2-0. So I'm just saying I'm okay at this. All right, I'm going to go to the people that are here with us. What kind of predictions do we have? Go ahead and just shout them out. What do we got? 2-1. Okay. 3-1. Okay.
4-2.
4-2. All right.
Playing big today.
Going big. Oh, and the screen is up. It looks like they're just about. Oh, Ted Uncle. Great. The first person I wanted to see when I turned back around. Any other predictions? We got a 4-2, 3-1, 1-1. You're with me. Okay.
I think
All right.
Most people are predicting a win, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, so the whistle is just blown, and now they have kicked off. If you're trying to kind of match up with what we're at, it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the game clock. So that should help you guys in the chat. And we're away.
All right.
Not the most imposing crowd there today.
No, not really.
For a midday game.
That's good for us, though. We don't want a good crowd for
Right.
Colorado, right? Okay.
Playing some volleyball to start the game.
Nice. That was a serious header from Ibiaga, by the way.
I'm fine with that. I don't know. Mark looked like he had time on that first header. He probably should have thought about collecting it.
I remember when I was devastated when Mark Anthony Kay left. Now I'm kind of like, oh well.
I feel like you and I were driving the Mark Anthony Kay fan club bus, and then
alone.
Alone.
There's nobody.
Definitely alone. From not totally alone. Anonymously, I would get people from time to time be like, "I think Mark's good too, but I don't want to get into Twitter fights." And I was like, "You're probably a good idea."
Yeah.
Let's see what Michael's got. LAFC has relied a lot on turning it on in the second half. That will be tough with altitude. Better to try to get it going early. So someone's on your altitude page.
The altitude is a real thing. It's I know Steve said don't talk about it.
Mhm.
We don't want to put it out there, but it's a real thing.
How about Robin Fraser with Henley tucked into the light blue jeans?
Yeah.
It's a very Colorado look. I feel like he needs like a cowboy hat.
Oh my gosh. I do not want to get into the fashion.
Oh,
talk
but we
today.
will. That's why this watch along is so much better than watching it with the commentators, because actually I don't even hear the commentators. I feel like we're getting one of those great just ambient games. Oh no.
Oh, there he is.
I blew it. My bad.
He knew.
My bad, everyone. Camera's struggling a little here.
And it's out.
Should I do my broadcaster voice like he's doing it? Or I don't even think I could do it.
Just try it.
And there's Steve Trundolo
No.
with the Lacoste shirt. Looking good. I think I have those pants.
Oh my gosh. I don't have a commentator's voice. I just speak the same all the time. It just is what it is, isn't it?
All right, so the two teams thus far are literally terrified of making mistakes. They're just playing long and trying to figure out kind of where the soft spots are. Well,
I think it's important for LAFC
Later, Mark.
not to concede early. So if they need to be a little bit more conservative and come out after like the first 15 to 20 minutes and then start playing their game, I'm totally fine with that.
Mhm.
The conceding the early goal after being so open to me is traumatic. So
Mhm.
don't do it again.
Yeah, this is a bit of a jogging pace to start, but now it looks like LAFC as they get into final third are cranking it up just a little
They
bit.
can't breathe, Vince.
They
They
can't-
can't
they can't
breathe. I'm
breathe.
telling
It's the
you.
altitude.
It's the altitude.
All right, we'll see if the goalkeeper plays long. I'm curious to see, as I've noted, the front three press, and of course they're going to show a replay for half an hour instead of allowing me to see how they set up. Oh yeah, the ball's already on the other side of the pitch. That's great TV directing.
And we're like there's nothing going on in the middle. It's like just box to box, really.
Yeah, but if it stays like this, we're not going to have to worry about Poncho Janela because we're not using midfielders at all on either side.
Okay, there you go.
Colorado is also decent at set pieces, so it is something that LAC has to be aware of on the flip side. And we have conceded a couple of goals from set pieces this season.
Ooh, good save. Good save.
So if you were worried about Joe McCarthy, That's a great save.
That is a good save. He's awake early. You
Yep.
know, Janela just couldn't really get in the right position there on that corner.
Mm-mm.
So,
Yeah, free header.
Yeah.
Neither of us are goalkeepers, but I would guess that that's probably what John would have wanted, is like a save right off the bat.
Yeah, get yourself into the game, shake the little nerves off if you have them. I think so.
I love the commentator letting me know which way the ball is going to swing.
Great punch. That's a good sign, I think. Sometimes when you have like your backup goalkeeper come in, they can look shaky coming in, especially with somebody like Max Bretos being so good. This is a good sign, I think.
Yeah, in some ways that punch is almost nicer to see than the save, because like you said, you can have guys that sit back a little bit. They're afraid to make an error. John seems like he's like, if I'm keeping, I'm going to play the way I play, and he's not worried about that. So that is a good sign, because that's one of the benefits that Maxime Crepeau has given to us. It's not just a shot stopping ability, it's the collections, it's the willingness to be in traffic. I feel like the past 2 seasons we had goalkeepers that were a bit gun shy about doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, a bit. So yeah, a little bit of a slow start, but I have to say I don't really mind that if that's like kind of a part of the game plan to kind of keep it tight and then play our game, you know.
Yeah, Colorado's playing very direct. It looks like they're going to press a little high up the pitch to start out here.
Yeah. I mean, and the impetus is on them. They're the home team. Ooh.
There you go. A little mini transition moment, but just a little too.
Do we like the mustache or?
Yeah, he looks like a cop. I mean, yeah, maybe he's he's just regulating that defense with that mustache.
I know, right?
Okay. All right. I like seeing Chicho for a moment play with his back to goal and draw a foul. That's a good sign as well.
Yeah, I think we've spoken about that, like that traditional number 9 play, back to goal, winning us fouls when we're in difficult, circumstances, holding the ball up. Those are good things. And I prefer to see him central. I don't really love him out wide. That's great. Oh.
Yeah, Colorado wants none of LAFC's press to start this game.
How do you think Ibiaga has done kind of deputizing for Murray since his injury?
I think he's done well. We talked about this a little bit with Rodney Wallace, a former MLS player on during the Open Cup game, and he's like, he knows what his strengths are and he knows what his weaknesses are, and he leans towards his strengths and stays away from his weaknesses. He's not flashy, but he does a job. And anytime with the injuries that we have, you're getting this low down in the bench and into the depth chart. That's kind of all you want, right? He's a guy that just
does his job.
Yeah, his floor is high enough that it's just a steady, and you don't need him to be a game winner.
Exactly. That's good, Chicho.
Oh, I think he bought that one just a little bit.
I was just about to say he bought that one. Sometimes he gets them, sometimes he doesn't, but I don't mind that.
I don't mind even if he doesn't win the foul here. I don't mind that, because that sets the tone. I'm going to get on the ball, I'm going to turn, I'm going to face up field, and I'm going to run right at you. So the defenders need to either get tight to their marks or make a tackle.
Yeah.
And that puts them in a tough spot.
Yeah.
All right, who hits it? It's the left footer, right?
It has to be Vela, I think.
I think, are they going to put someone on the ground?
How do you think they choose the person that goes on the ground? Is it just
right?
Is it seniority or?
You know what, though? Versus what can happen to you standing up, I almost would rather be on the ground, because he could just lay with his back there. These guys can get hit in the face.
Yeah. Oh.
Ooh. The deflection? No. Nope, that is not the way he drew it up.
It was supposed to go into the
Yeah.
top corner.
Okay. Now is my good chance to actually see them try to press a little bit. And let's see what Colorado's decision is.
And long.
Yep, they still don't.
But that wasn't bad for them. That was actually a really good out ball there.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a set piece in a lot of ways, right? That's definitely
Yeah,
something they drew
they
up and they said,
planned.
we think LAFC, because LAFC does want to seal off a side. They were like, let's just play it to that side, see if we can get somebody leaning that way, and then play it out to that out man.
It's really good goalkeeping. Now touch it.
There we go.
Good.
The man, what? Sorry, I'm commenting on the the Barbasol comment on the telecast. I have no idea what's going on.
That's a foul.
That actually was more of a foul than the other one.
Yeah. Orango. But yeah, I think Chicho, he's doing a good job early trying to hold that ball up. Maybe somebody supports earlier so that he can give the ball earlier. But really, that was a foul. Like Thickety says in the chat, Chicho deserved a call there. It's weird that he didn't call it.
So Andreas Franco wants to know what we've taken from the first 10 minutes. I think his comment right there, McCarthy looks strong, is probably, and here we go, is a moment where, yeah, McCarthy looks strong. That's probably what you take from that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, I would say.
McCarthy looks strong. Chicho looks awake and ready. But the team, because they've found ways to get beyond the Rapids and create little mini transition moments, but they haven't been sharp in their passing after that.
Yeah, and Colorado seemed to be going long. They're desperate to kind of go very direct, and so our high line might get exposed there because Zardes is pretty quick. So it'll be interesting to see how Ibiaga and Fall deal with that.
Yeah, that was a hope. That wasn't the cleverest ball. It was just kind of a hopeful little ball over the top.
And am I right to say this is them going downhill then?
Yeah.
And so a lot of these are kind of going quickly out of bounds and on this end. Yeah.
Yeah, the two center backs not quite on the same page on what they're doing with Zardes there. And to your point, they're going to have to be ready because Zardes is going to test that high line.
100%. Do they have coffee, Steve, or no? Because they are looking sleepy out there.
It's the daytime. It's just it makes you kind of like
that stinky time, man.
Yeah.
This midday is just not good.
It's like when you want to take a nap after training.
Yeah. Oof.
So just at the end of the 13th minute, Colorado will have a scoring opportunity. Kellyn is coming back from the suspension.
All right.
Nice little move there. He got a red card against the Portland Timbers. It's the game against San Jose, game that they lost. And now he's back in MLS. Of course, he did play the US Open Cup. 45 minutes.
Let's see how we deal with this one.
That's in a weird. It's straight on, but there's a lot of space. That I mean, they're gonna set that line at the 18. They're gonna give away a lot of space behind them.
Yeah.
So John McCarthy has to be ready.
He looks ready.
He's doing something.
Yeah.
Poncho's having a fun time with Jossie.
I think that's a mismatch.
For Poncho, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did they call a penalty?
He just called a penalty. Wow, that's
Really?
okay. They definitely have to take another look at this. I don't think there's much in this at all.
It kind of feels like I called it because he went down.
It also looks like he might have been off.
Oh wait, no, but is his foot high? Really? Because he puts his head down more.
Right.
He has every right to go for that, I feel like. Do you think it's too high?
You put your boot that high, and you obviously are asking for the referee to make a decision. I would like them to look again and check to see if there might have been an offside on that. Actually, it looks like the line went just a little bit quicker than they should have. I don't love that call. It's soft, but I can understand. Look, anytime you leave your boot that high,
Yeah.
Rubio's definitely making a meal of it because he didn't get him that much. And Kellyn's feeling that way too. Yeah, I don't. Unless there's an offside, though, I don't think there's any way that they're going to look at it because it's when your boot's up. It's like
Yeah.
you give the referee the call.
I mean, Ibiaga has his eyes on the ball. There's not much he really can do there.
Mhm. So penalty, early yellow to your center back. Not ideal, especially the only other center back on the bench for LAFC is Tony Leone, who's never played
Can you move
in a competitive MLS game.
Can you move Hollingshead?
Yeah, you can move some things around and
Yeah, you can move Kellyn maybe
Mhm.
to fullback. There's some other
Elia
things you
Sanchez
can
is on
do.
the bench as well and has played some center back, although not his ideal position for this LAFC team.
Yeah. So basically, my prediction is starting to come true. If they score this, then
Yep.
it's 1-0
It's true.
early, and then we come back and win.
Well, we'll really see what McCarthy's got here.
Maybe he saves it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I can't even be mad at Ibiaga for that.
Oh,
He almost got that.
got a hand to it, but it was enough pace on it. John can't push it over the bar. 1-0. So far your prediction is going exactly the way that I mean
you're on track for yours as well. I
Yeah.
just think we're gonna score more than one goal.
I hope you're right. I'm not sure. So when you give up a goal like this, how does it change the mentality when you feel like you've been playing okay? Like they didn't do much to.
I mean, I feel like if anything, this should be a kick up the butt
Mhm.
because I think we came into this a little bit sleepy. I would say we're playing okay
Mhm.
because nothing has really been happening. We
Right.
haven't really been doing much beyond Chicho. I didn't really see anybody doing much.
Mhm.
So should be a kick up the butt. This is the storyline that we've become accustomed to.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens from here.
And if you're Colorado, what would you expect Colorado to think of this now? Do you think they go for a second, or they've been pretty pragmatic?
Yeah,
Stick with the game plan?
I think they stick with the game plan. I mean, I still see that there'll probably be some joy in behind for them. Long balls. Oh. Oh.
I wonder how that happened. I guess it's a good thing we don't have Chris Whittingham on the call this time.
Mm. Yeah, it's just one of those. All he had to do was just stay with it looks uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like he could have just stayed there. Nice day out in Colorado, it
Mhm.
seems.
They're trying. I like that they're creating a little bit of ambiance there in Colorado. It's not something that they've had for a little bit of time, so
Yeah.
good for them. and Carlos is asking the team to come up and be more compact up the field. So they definitely want to press if they can.
The atmosphere is always fantastic, and it is always led by the supporters groups inside each stadium. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's just an amazing electric atmosphere. It is an experience for sure.
Thickety wickets. We're not controlling the ball. Got to get mids involved. Yeah, I mean, we haven't had much of the ball, period. It seems like we had one spell of a bit of possession, but haven't really. The ball's just been kind of going back and forth from team to team at this point.
A lot of long balls, a lot of choppiness because of all the fouls and stoppages and stuff like that. We really haven't gotten going. 20 minutes, and there hasn't been much happening beyond the penalty.
Yeah, you've got to understand if they're playing long, that second balls are going to become that much more pivotal in this game, and they got to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Colorado has done a really good job of getting themselves into the final third.
And this helps Colorado as long as the game keeps starting and stopping. They can play long.
Because it keeps us from getting into our flow.
Yeah, it'll be a frustrating game if this continues the way it's kind of gone to script this far.
Michael KB says this is a normal LAFC start this season. Lots of back and forth, feeling out the other team a bit. Yeah, normal script.
But I would ask you guys in the chat and Michael as well, like how much longer can you keep this up? Like how it's a long season. We've already seen some injuries starting to pile up a little bit. Like how many more times can you come back? Not saying they can't do it here. I'm just saying at some point it feels like it's going to catch up to them. I wouldn't say the ball movement's been outstanding, but
a stretch.
It's strong. The first time that they've actually moved the ball in and around the box. Okay.
That's a good touch.
I'll take that.
What?
Wow. Okay. So LAFC tries to go quick. They lose the ball right back. You got to maybe
slow it down.
Slow it down a little bit.
It would be nice to see Janela or Kellyn Acosta put their foot on top of the ball and just connect some passes.
I think the referee just gave somebody a yellow for talking back. These referees.
What?
What if this has become our new style? We lure them in, let them think they're winning, and then land a knockout punch in the second half. It's a bold strategy. I don't think any coach in the entire world would admit to that, especially giving up the first goal. I understand if you're saying like just lure them in, stay tight, stay compact, but definitely giving up the first goal, I don't think any coach would admit to that being a strategy. And yes, the La Rosa Pants Co. is in full effect today. It's a warm day. It's very hot here in Burbank, although it's very nice and air conditioned here in our theater.
Colorado now back on the ball, trying to send it over to Estevez. He'll gather it up. Pull off the brakes, push it back just enough to get it to K.
I feel like I don't know. This seems like a trend over the last couple of games. They seem to be targeting our our right hand side, knowing that Carlos is probably not going to track back that much. That's been a source of joy for teams over the last couple of games. Not much you can do about it because you're not going to ask Carlos to do too much tracking back. It just puts a lot of stress on the fullback, I think.
Yeah, and Sifu as well, right? He's normally the one that kind of fills in that space, so he's got a lot of hard running to do. I think that's why a lot to start the season. Ooh. Oh, there's a moment. Oh, you're kidding me. Wow.
He can't be serious. This is literally the worst start ever.
Yeah. Definitely the worst start in any game this season.
Yeah.
That's not a foul. Jess, thoughts?
It just feels like the referee wants to decide the game, which is not what you want. You want the players on the pitch to decide the game,
Mhm.
and that just seemed very, very soft. The first one I can understand. This one I don't really get it. I can't see it. I don't understand it.
I feel like the first one he should have been more demonstrative with, and he took his time more on that one. This one he like knew right away what he wanted to call, and I mean if he's very secure in that call, but
I mean, we're in the any type of contact in the box is a penalty type area here with
it
him.
feels like it.
Yeah. So maybe we need to get down to the other end and just let people hit us, and and see if we get penalties as well.
Rubio with a chance to put Colorado up 2-0 in the 26th minute. McCarthy, as I said just a moment ago, did guess right on Sardis. He went left, got a fingertip in on it.
And they're not going to look at it.
Rubio stutters.
Yes!
Let's go!
The ball doesn't lie, baby. I'm telling you.
Well, John McCarthy has been the best player in LAFC's 11 today.
Man of the match.
Man of the match, yeah.
Literally.
The way it's going, look,
Literally.
I would think if LAFC gets anything out of this, John McCarthy still is man of the match, regardless of what happens.
What?
Oh my God, they're gonna say he came off the line. This has just been.
This is terrible.
I'm gonna guess that if he's gonna take a look, that they're gonna do it again. Because why else? I mean,
Yeah.
well,
it's
the other thing I don't
VAR.
understand is how does the assistant not? Yeah, how does the assistant not see it? It's their one job.
Yeah, he jumped off the line. It's just frustrating,
Right.
know. But it's the right call.
All right, same
can do it.
taker.
You went off the line, bro. It's okay. He just.
I'm just saying you're not doing your job. So same spot.
That was perfect penalty.
Yeah, no one's
so,
saving that penalty.
Yeah. So what does Steve tell the group now? Like, I mean, what do we do now? We haven't really gotten out. We really haven't gotten out of the gate yet. We're 2-0 down off of 2 penalties.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't done much wrong, but haven't done much at all. Like, what does Steve do now?
I think you have to impose yourself on the game. Like it's kind of at this point you're 2-0 down. Really, like what's the harm?
Yeah.
You can't count on the referee. But to your point, get into their final third, get in and around the box, and see what kind of havoc you can create if you got this referee that's a little got a hair trigger on that whistle.
Yeah, and to your point, at this point, like, what's the difference between losing 2-0 or 3-0 or we're down, so you need to
get angry because look, Colorado's playing a direct game. Realistically, winning second balls is all about energy. It's about desire to win those second balls. So get a little chippy. Obviously, you don't want to do it in and around the box because the referee is calling anything, but just get into it. You know what I mean? There's nothing to lose at this point. Some of these guys like an Ibiaga, like a John McCarthy, like Poncho Janela, this is their chance. I mean, they're not going to want to have said that their chance was in a losing effort. So you got to give it your all because you may not see the starting lineup again for a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah, playing long balls to Carlos Vela's head is not going to be the way to get into this game.
Right. You just put your foot on the ball and let's just connect a couple of passes.
Remember, yeah, I do like seeing this a little bit.
That's a great turn.
Yeah, it is. We'll take that. Yeah, there should be a yellow there. That's a easy yellow.
I I just expect when we're in the box, if there's any sort of contact, I need there to be a penalty call
Mhm.
because that's the precedent that he set.
I mean, there's going to be I feel like there's going to be a makeup call at
Has
some
to
point in
be.
this game. It was Chicho that got dragged down. Oh, yeah, big chunk of turf. This is going to be Kellyn. Kellyn or Chicho are taking this.
What do they have to argue about?
You literally fouled, and it was bad.
2 free goals. I don't know what they're.
Benjamin says it's going to be even better when we come back for the W. Let's go. I mean, if there's a team that could come back from something like this, it's definitely LAFC. So
I don't know what the conversation is about.
I mean, this is just
Why their goalkeeper go in your goal. This referee has no control in the game. No, unless he's going to give the keeper a yellow.
I feel like the referee.
What is going on
control.
here? I would like to watch the game.
Essentially.
No, he just gave the yellow though.
Oh, God. Took a while. That's a late reaction. Yeah, he's like, don't be an idiot. Okay.
Come on. I'm not going to lie. Chicho just hitting him in the leg like that. I'm dead.
Right.
Why did he do that?
You hit my leg. I fell.
They need to just laugh this off because that was very silly.
There we go. Yeah.
Jer says we need one before the half. I think so too. I think if we can cut the deficit in half, we can go into halftime feeling like there's something to play for.
Oh, yeah. You have. I mean, well, more so than just. Have a chance.
Yeah.
Like they haven't even had a chance yet. They need to have at least get a scoring chance to feel like there's something
Let's
to play
get
for.
A shot.
Yeah, a shot. Yeah, a shot on target.
A touch in the box.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right into the wall. Somebody has to step up. Somebody has to, as you said, put their foot on the ball. Take control. There's no composure here. Everything's just kind of.
I'm already thinking about Blessing coming in the second half, and we need to inject some energy into this group. I know that they've played a lot of matches. There's probably some fatigue in these legs, but it's just we have no energy.
Maybe Danny Masovsky?
Yeah, Masovsky, Blessing. Oh, Janela. The altitude, I'm telling you.
It's the altitude. That's what I get for saying the altitude's maybe not a problem. It's 2-0 at halftime. How long do you keep Carlos Vela in the game? Knowing that you have to play Austin at home on Wednesday.
I mean, 70, 75 maybe. But yeah, you have to conserve his energy.
You have to start to think about it, right?
Yeah. We have so many games. Oh.
Okay, so those guys just went shoulder to shoulder. There's no foul there, but okay.
I'm surprised he didn't. He called that our way. He didn't. He called it the other way. This is go ahead.
Right into Colorado's hands. Start, stop. Extra time, time on the ball, extra time to take the throw in, extra time for everything. This is their game. This is exactly what they want, and exactly what we said. They have to play the game. LAFC has to play the game on their terms.
Yeah, and this is so unfortunate when things go against you. Like it feels like almost every 50-50, even out to like balls going out for throw-ins or going against us. So yeah, it's one. It feels like one of those.
Mm-hmm.
He goes long distance. Colorado sends it back the other way. Colorado absolutely outstanding.
What do you think about the build-outs so far?
What build out?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been bypassing midfield the entire game,
Mhm.
and then when the midfield has gotten the ball, they haven't put their foot on top of it and just had some possession.
Mhm.
Like now, it would just be nice to just pass it around a little bit. I'd be thinking about midfield changes
Mhm.
at halftime for sure.
Yeah, it just feels like the distances of the passes are they're sending a ball from center back to center back 30 yards. That allows any team to get up tighter to your fullbacks, tighter on your midfield. Like this is not the way to build, is by sending long passes. Even if they're the easy pass, it's just not the right way to do it.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about, how Ilie comes to the ball and
Mhm.
shows feet and gives the angle. That could be really useful. I'm not really seeing a lot of that, like, give me the ball.
Mhm.
Somebody needs to say, give it to me because I'm going to do something with it.
Alex, here we go again, LAFC.
What?
This game is very, very chippy. Not one but two. LA Clippers go down. Colorado will.
Oh, Poncho, you got to stay with Rubio the whole time there. You can't try to play an offside trap when you're not the center back. Mamadou
fall.
luckily was awake.
You guys, come on. That's terrible. Come on. Come on, you guys.
Uh-oh. Well, that's a microcosm of the game so far. They actually they get themselves out of trouble. They have a moment to maybe do some things, and then just a bad pass in transition.
So Janela tried to play the offside trap
Right.
there.
Which if you're the 6, are you the one that should be setting the offside trap?
No.
This is
Somebody.
Hollingshead still on the ground from that tackle earlier.
This game away early, and they had a few opportunities in the first 10 minutes of the game. It looks like Hollingshead is down at the moment. Rosenberry will just wait on that. There's Hollingshead, 30-year-old out of Granite Bay, California.
Yeah, for me, get into the half without conceding another.
Mhm.
And think about Latif and maybe Masovsky coming in.
There's no natural fullback replacements either. So Ryan Hollingshead, if he can't go, it's not
not
ideal.
What happened to our depth? We talked so
Injuries
much about that.
snuck up.
Ooh.
Don't like that.
Coming off that bizarre U.S. Open Cup game that started on Wednesday and ended up on Thursday
He's clearly in some pain as they're
against Minnesota.
testing out spots on his knee.
Next week, very, very short. Not to mention that this is an early match on the West Coast.
So if Hollingshead can't go, what is the play here? Move
I have-
Collin to fullback.
I have heard that Tony Leone can play a little bit of right back and has actually been very good at playing right back with Vegas. Let's see, what's Jerry saying? We're going to need to see my Long Beach brother Tony Leone come into this game. That's possible. I do think, though, maybe it's the more obvious is, like you said, Kellyn Acosta right back. Ilie Sanchez comes into the game. They need some midfield help anyway, so you can kind of kill two birds with one stone in that switch. You got to hope, though, that Ryan Hollingshead, this is just a knock to his knee and not anything structural because, as you said, what happened to that depth?
Yeah, what happened to it? It disappeared real quick.
Imagine if it happened to any other team, though. Like what their options would be.
Yeah. Martin Luke says, if we can somehow get into the half 2-1, I'd consider that a win for this half, all things considered. Then I just hope our second half goes more like it usually does and we can start getting shots up. I mean, I'm used to us going down a goal, but the performance is.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, right now, second to every ball. it's too easy to get into the final third for Colorado, and they're not doing anything, especially. Oh, and Hollingshead does have to come out. Ilie is going to come in, and it does look like it'll be the change that we said. I'm going to guess Kellyn Acosta is going to move right back. Yep.
You know, as much as I would have liked to see Ilie get some rest, I do think that this could help us get some control in midfield. We
Mhm.
just haven't been available. Ooh. You can't dive in there. You can't dive in there.
Yeah, a goal in the next 5 minutes would be great, but again, I just like to see a chance.
Where is it
Like
coming
a-
from?
yeah, a
If
chance
there's gonna be a
created.
goal, where is it going to come from?
Actually, at this point, I'd just like to see them turn Colorado over before letting them into the final third.
Yeah.
That's just bad.
Like he's looking up.
Has this guy ever seen a soccer game before? He just didn't wrap his foot around it. This is exactly what they want you to do.
I mean, if we're going to play like that, then somebody in midfield needs to be available for the second balls,
Mhm.
right? There's just no point in kicking it up there, and then
Mhm.
we're hanging back. And right now our midfield is sitting literally right on top of the defense. They need to get closer to the forwards.
Yeah, there's no cohesion from front to back. They're not compact at all. There's no connection. And everything's just hopeful balls, trying to see if we can make something happen.
Right.
But there's no purpose to the passing at this moment.
Oof. I feel you. Steve does not look happy.
The talk at halftime is going to be the hairdryer treatment.
Yeah. From his reaction, this doesn't look like this is what he told them to do.
Mhm.
So, yeah. No. Oh. Thickety Wicked says this is less like Dolo ball and more like AYSO ball.
Yeah. And now they're going to hold this because they're going to take a look.
Yeah. I mean, if you get a hat trick of no. That's never a penalty. Come on.
Just a tangle. That's a tangle of legs. And Kellyn's just trying to get back into position. I don't think that you could.
He didn't do much there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Kellyn did everything to get like out of the guy's way. They never made contact.
But again, it's another just stoppage in the game.
Yeah.
Even if they don't get it, like this helps them.
This half went perfectly for Colorado.
Yeah. Michael says, I don't even think it was a tangle. Yeah, it wasn't even really a tangle. It's just Kellyn trying to get back into position.
They should have been running the stop line, trying to stop it. Like
All right. And they play on,
8 or 9.
thankfully.
Yeah.
I'd imagine a hat trick of penalties in the first half.
You just have to say at that point it just wasn't meant. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, right. That's when you just pack it
Yeah,
in and go,
you-
like, let's get back home to the bank and play on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's static. It's very static.
This is just not us. We're tired. Like it just has to be fatigue. This is not it. Exactly.
Rosenberry sending it forward. Colorado can go into the locker room being very pleased with themselves, Alex. They really haven't made any mistakes. The mistakes they've made, they've quickly adjusted from. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, Colorado haven't made any mistakes because we've done literally nothing in this half.
Yeah, would say even regardless of the penalties, Colorado's been the better team, right? Because
Yeah.
this is the way they wanted the game to be played. Yeah, they're flooding the midfield. They're not allowing us to play through the midfield at all. And instead of trying to find different angles and maybe just force it a little bit, we're just sending it. We're too eager to send it long.
Yeah, and we're not a kick it long
Right.
type of team.
But if you are, as you said, if you are going to send it long, you better have a Sifu or somebody up there that is going to pick up those secondary balls and really help.
Yeah.
Towards the box. Headed away by Wilson. Acosta with a quick throw.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 minutes of stoppage. That's a lot.
It's a lot. It could have very well been more.
Yeah.
I was expecting 8. That sounds crazy, but like, how many snaps have we had? Called.
It's an idea. It's not the baseline.
It's not the best.
He said baseline a few times, and it's just ball. It's getting under my skin. So LAFC's been very good in set pieces. Obviously, missing Hollingshead is a big miss here. But if you can steal one,
Kick it to Fall's head,
Yeah.
please.
if you can steal one on a set piece here, that would be good service. How about a penalty there? Wow.
That's 100% a penalty by the precedent set.
I really need another look at that.
Tackles in the box. Another penalty.
Right there, 2 right there.
LAFC is going to have
Where's the homie Connor? Connor's in Spain. Must be nice. Actually, and especially the way this game's going, must be really nice. That's it. Connor's never allowed to go to Spain again.
Janela, no.
So we're gonna. Does anybody want to show me a replay of what happened there? Or we're just gonna pretend like that guy fell on his own?
It's rigged. No. Pass. You
Oh.
didn't have to do that.
Well, Carlos is awake.
Send him off.
He's upset.
You didn't have to do that.
Well, it makes sense.
So can we
But
get a look?
I mean, he's frustrated,
Yeah.
so.
I would say Exhibit A for all those people that think that Carlos doesn't care, because this is him. He's doing that on purpose. He doesn't.
Oh.
He doesn't want to win the ball at all. He's just letting him know, like, you're not going to push me around. So let's see this. Oh, come on.
By the precedent set by
Yeah.
the referee, that should have been a penalty.
You'd have to say.
Because he basically said any contact.
And
Is the penalty.
they're not going to look at it.
Of course not. You know what? All things considered, 2-0 down. I mean, you could.
Yeah,
you
with
can-
everything that's
yeah.
been against you, but still, they haven't done any. Like, maybe if they had one chance going forward, a shot on target, even they can't build. They literally can't build, and it looks like Colorado is really just going man to man in midfield. So it should be a problem that you could possibly solve. I'm assuming that's what Steve's going to scream at them at halftime.
It seems like they just are like, we just gotta get out of this half.
Yeah, it feels like it. Just get out of the half, get the talking to.
I expect to see some substitutions or a substitution.
Well, nice to see Mahala try to make
Yeah.
something happen, but he's been anonymous in the game so far.
Don't.
Shoulder, penalty.
The way my heart just dropped. Like,
Good recovery from Ibiaga, though. I mean, for Lewis is a speedster. He's probably one of the fastest players in the entire league. And I think for Ibiaga to get turned a little bit here, he gets his hips back the other way. It's a really good recovery.
and you have to be able to. There has
And
to
he's
be
on a yellow.
Yeah, you have to have contact. Like, it's a contact sport.
Yep.
Like, the defenders have to feel like they could do something, or else it's not the
Mhm.
game anymore.
That's brilliant football on both sides. The offense and the defense winning out the day. So that's the kind of football that you want to watch. Swinger driven.
Oh, John McCarthy again. Wow.
McCarthy's able to get a fingertip.
McCarthy's still man of the match,
Yeah.
regardless, for LAFC.
You guys, please just get into the half.
Staying alive there. Well done, John McCarthy.
Oh my gosh, he's actually been excellent.
Yeah.
So,
Of all the worries that are now in my head about this LAFC team, it's not the depth at goalkeeper.
yeah, so I mean that's a positive. I mean, he can go into the locker room and just chill.
Mhm.
He knows it wasn't
Right?
him.
Yeah, just take one off.
It wasn't me. All right.
Okay, so the 6 minutes of that stoppage time are through it. It is halftime. We've got some tapes that we're going to throw to, but before we do, let's just have quick thoughts on that half.
I mean, that's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's as bad as it could have been. I do have to say that I feel like we're extremely unlucky. I think I think the referee made some decisions that he could have made an opposite decision. I don't think it was as clear as he made it out to seem. McCarthy unlucky to get off of the line on that penalty, but I think he's been excellent. Ultimately, LAFC just haven't gotten going at all in any way, shape, or form, and so you just have to hope in that second half that they can try to come back and just start over, because I mean, there's nothing to build off of that first half whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a complete reset from that half, and like you said, two things can be happening at one time. The refereeing has been bad, but LAFC has not been good as well, right? So even if they were to say like, well, if the refereeing would have been even, I still feel like they might be down in this match.
Oh yeah.
They haven't created much. So like you said, you got to go into halftime, and Steve Cherundolo has to basically say like, let's forget that ever happened. Let's see what we can put together in the second half, and then know regardless, we have a quick turnaround. So you guys are playing for starting spots on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, besides McCarthy, I don't think anybody that's come in for one of the starters has made any sort of case to continue on. You know what I mean?
It's unfortunate for John, too, because of all the people that are playing in this game, you would feel like he actually has the lowest chance, no matter what happens in this, to start in the next match. So that's kind of a bummer. They really let their goalkeeper down in this match.
They really have. I mean, I don't know what I watched. Do you think that fatigue has maybe set in a little bit? It could be a little bit of that too, right?
There does look like a bit of a malaise. They look very flat. So we'll see what happens as they come out in the second half. If we don't see that, they step up the pressure and step up the energy, then I'm going to be really worried. But that's the half. It's 2-0. LAFC down, almost a hat trick of penalty calls, but there are two penalties. They bury both of them after a protracted one on the second one. But that's where LAFC finds themselves. We're going to throw you guys to first we have a class of 22 for you guys to check out, then In Touch, which is my chat with Steve Cherundolo at the practice facility, and finally Jessica taking on the Dizzy PK Challenge. So check these out, and we will see you guys to start the second half.
I use a lot the one laughing.
Can you act it out?
No, I couldn't.
Like the straight-faced one?
Act it out.
Yeah, just like...
It's probably just the laughing emoji.
Okay.
Pues siempre le mando corazón a mi esposa.
Pues me gusta mucho. Un corazoncito.
It's probably just like the eye roll, just like the. Yeah, I use that a lot.
Sí, los de los lentes.
¿Cómo se hace?
No, los que tienen lentes.
¿Lo puedes hacer?
No sé, tienen. Así. Sí. Love, hat.
The guy's like, ¿cómo se dice vomitando?
Vomiting?
Yeah. Well,
Can you show me how to do it? ¿Cómo se hace?
No.
I just like the poop emoji. That's pretty. Yeah, you can't really act that one out. Yeah.
Dos emojis, pero.
Smile.
Wow, that's a big smile.
Yeah,
Can you
big
show
smile,
it?
yeah. Ha.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of In Touch with Steve Trundolo. I'm Vince, that's Steve. As we like to say, it's a show with a little bit of soccer, but a lot of bit of personality. And Steve, we did a Mother's Day show last week. Did you get any response from your mom or from Mandy? Anyone, what did people say about it?
They both loved it. Congratulations to a good show for making both of us look good, because it's important. We're very appreciative of all the moms out there.
Great, good. I'm glad people are liking the show. But let's do that little bit of soccer. Let's get out of the way. Against Philadelphia, you managed to come back twice. Big part of that game, set pieces. LAFC has 9 set piece goals in 10 games, leads the league. Very different from the last 2 seasons for LAFC. What is your philosophy on set pieces?
Well, I don't have one. The brains behind the operations is Mark Dos Santos.
Okay.
He is in charge of set pieces, so kudos to Mark and all of his hard work, but also to the players for buying into it, believing in it, and if with every goal you score, or with every improvement in the ratio from goals scored to goals against, the trust grows, and so the trust is big right now.
Acosta crosses in, loose in the 6 shot, goal! It's Harlington!
What do you think's changed, besides Mark?
That Mark is doing it that I'm not. No, I think it has a lot to do with the personnel, the quality of service, timing of the runs, but a third of the goals, not just at MLS, all across the globe are scored on set pieces. So like in any sport and any skill, you have to train it regularly. So I think it's something that we do manage to train regularly every week, sometimes twice a week, and I think that's the secret to our success.
All right, let's move forward to the theme. The theme is based off of the fact that LAFC, top of the West, number 1 in the West, took on number 1 in the East this past week. So we're doing number 1s when you were 1. If you guys can believe this, Steve and I are only about 5.5 years apart. I don't know who that says more about. Probably me. I'm doing this show while he's on the field. But we are not that far apart. So we're going to talk about number 1s when you were 1 years old. And I've got some of my own, so we got like a battle of it. Steve, when you were 1 years old, the number 1 song in the United States was "Do That to Me One More Time" by Captain and Tennille. Are you a big Captain and Tennille fan?
I can't say I am, I'm sorry.
I was born in '84, so we're talking about '85. The number 1 song when I turned 1 years old in 1985, "Power of Love" by Huey Lewis. I think I might, if it's a competition.
Yeah, you got that one.
So now you guys get the idea. We're doing number 1s, pop culture number 1s, when both Steve and I were 1. A lot of 1s going on here. The number 1 box office movie, I'll give you a hint. It was from a galaxy far away.
A galaxy far, Star Wars?
Yeah. Star Wars. If you're starting to put the timeline together, 1980, can you think which Star Wars it was?
Empire Strikes Back?
Bingo. See, I said I was only gonna quiz you if I felt like you could do well on it.
Thank you.
1985, can you guess what would have been the number 1 movie in 1985?
1985. E.T.?
Close.
How about...
Think a car.
Yeah, I'm there. Back to the Future? Yes.
I'm gonna say that's a push.
Not bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a push. 2 great movies, very different.
No. I love Back to the Future, everything about it. But Star Wars, Back to the Future, Star Wars is just massive.
Okay.
Too big.
Steve, did you have a favorite toy when you were a kid?
Very much a kid who grew up outside.
All right, but I'm sure you've probably played this game that was the number 1 toy, Pac-Man.
Oh yeah, Pac-Man was great.
Fan of Pac-Man? Bigger fan of Pac-Man or Mrs. Pac-Man?
Pac-Man. 2 of my siblings were very big on video games, and there was a lot of Pac-Man going on in the house, and the other 2, we were into other things, so.
A lot of video games. Mine not good. Teddy Ruxpin was the #1 toy in 1985. You have a favorite candy?
I do.
What is it?
I do. Starburst.
Starburst. Okay, this is somewhat along those lines. Favorite candy in 1980? Assorted flavors. Think smaller.
Skittles?
Close. Jelly Belly jelly beans.
Jelly Belly jelly beans. I would have never gotten that.
Never gotten it. Mine, oddly enough, 1985. It was the first year they were introduced. Sour Patch Kids.
Okay.
Okay. You want to take a guess at what gas was in 1980 per gallon?
Price?
Yeah.
Per gallon? Oh, I mean, $1.20 maybe.
Wow. Okay. $1.19. 1980.
Wow. There you
Super
go.
close. Let's do a sports one. So 1980, 1985 was actually a special year for Los Angeles. Can you guess why in sports that might be?
Maybe the Dodgers? The Lake Show?
Yep. 1980, the Lakers won, and they also won in 1985.
Okay, okay.
All right, let's round it out with this one. This should be fun. Somewhere along the lines of the gas prices. The median home price in the United States in 1980.
$142,000.
I mean, you would be closer to what it was in 85, 86. So in 85, the median house value in the United States was $96,200.
Okay, okay.
In 1980, it was $47,000.
Wow, okay. So I've been thinking this entire time. I was born in 1979. Does this change any of your questions?
No, because once again, it's #1s when you were
When
one.
you were one, okay, okay.
See, there you go.
Okay.
And with that, that wraps up another episode of In Touch with Steve Tarundolo. We'll see you next week. Steve just finally got the theme. We'll do a little bit better next week. We'll see you guys then.
Hey guys, welcome to another skill challenge here on 110 Football. My name is Jessica. I'm your host / expert. I have Lauren Sesselman here. She's going to be our pro, as well as Chris Barris. He's our influencer / fan. On this skill challenge, we're going to be spinning around this podium 10 times, making ourselves really, really dizzy, and then taking PKs. We're going to do 5 of those, and whoever makes the most wins the challenge. I'm all about quiet confidence here. Insecurities be loud as hell. I'm here, quiet confidence. I'll let these two finish it up and all the crap talk.
Think you got? Ooh.
Nothing needs to be said. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Going faster. 8, 9, 10. Don't trip. Oh my gosh, if he's struggling. Yes. Woo! No, you have my phone. Yes. Oh, nice shot. Now you're taking too long to kick that shot.
Good job, Jess.
Yo! Try not to laugh.
Jess, you good?
Your facial
Good job.
expression. 4.
Good.
I got 4. I'm tied with him. I told you. No problem. I'm good. Good.
Good, go, Lauren. Let's go. Where's she at? She's out. Bro. Let's go. Oh! That's the only one he caught. Lauren's on the floor. Let's go. Big. Score, Lauren. Good job, Lauren. Go.
Not easy.
Go. Don't stop. Come on, let's get it right.
tired of spinning. We don't know if we'll survive, and we don't want to be here all night, so we're going to do a different challenge to just finish this off.
Yep.
Chris and I are going to do a crossbar challenge, and if he hits it in 2, I have 2 or less to match him. That's how we're going to do it this time. Are you ready, Chris?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Didn't hit anything.
I'm a sore loser, so no, I'm not happy about it, but Chris, influencer Chris, he did it.
Thank you guys so much.
He didn't wipe the floor with us like he said he was going to, but
Hey, dub is
sorry.
dub.
Thank you guys for watching 110 YouTube channel Skills Challenge. If you guys like this type of content, let us know. Let us know in the comment section. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Jessica, I'm your host, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Do me a favor, go find that video on 110 Football's YouTube and like it so that Jessica's spinning around was not in vain. Because watching that, I'm dizzy.
Oh my gosh, it was so hard. And the fact that Lauren laughed at me too, like before she went, I was like, just wait until your turn. And then she
Right.
realized I would not recommend that. But yeah.
She was like on a boat. Like she couldn't keep her feet at all.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay, so you guys got to check out those tapes, and we're about to kick off here for the second half. We've been talking about it a lot, how LAFC can get back into this game, but let's bring it back up. What can they do to find something from this game, whether it be to find a point or just a moral victory?
Yeah, they actually have to up the energy levels. Like right now, the energy, like without energy, you're not going to be able to do anything. I think that's first and foremost. You just have to, the want has to really be there. Not like I'm saying that they don't, but we know what a LAFC team that's on it really looks like. They have to make sure that they do not concede another goal. You do that, I think it's pretty much done. And then try to find the midfield a little bit, try to build through the midfield. I know it's difficult because they're going man to man, but you got to do something. And, you know, Poku now with the ball, like we seem like we have a little bit more impetus there. There you go.
So it started, I mean, even just in this first minute, they look a little bit better. And I agree with you. I think what you do is you play for this 45 minutes. Win this 45 minutes, regardless of the scoreline. Put together a performance that reminds you a little bit of the way LAFC plays, because that huge chance. And see, look, what do we say? That Colorado's not that good.
They're really not. They did very basic things, and we really underperformed in that half. Like it was like a 25% LAFC performance, just a little bit more emphasis and intention in our play, and we created a chance. I do think Sifu should do better with that, but it's better than the last half. So I'm not gonna complain too much.
Yeah, I think Steve, he's normally pretty chill in the first 5 minutes of halves, but if he would have popped up on that one, he would have said, that's exactly what I told you. If you guys play just the way that you can up to your energy levels, that will actually do something.
Yeah.
And so that's been a positive start thus far.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sure they went into the locker room and Steve said, well, you couldn't play any worse. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's all uphill from here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so far so good.
Nope.
I'm a bit concerned about the lack of crispness in what we're doing. Like there's just not a lot of quality on the ball right now. That could be fatigue though.
Yeah, well, there was some of that against Philadelphia as well. I think the team just hasn't quite gelled yet. And then obviously when you rotate like they have, LAFC plays in such a way that it's like intuitive.
And that kind of only comes with playing with the same people over and over again. That makes a lot of sense.
The fact that the forwards are actually getting the ball to stick a little bit and allow guys like Sifu to get into dangerous areas, that, again, encouraging signs.
Yeah.
Holding the ball, just having the ball for a little spell, not even like super sharpness, but having the ball for a little spell and putting Colorado under pressure is encouraging. I wonder if he called a foul or it was just, if it's a head injury, of course, you've got to stop play. But I'm curious where the ball is going to restart.
I'd like to see a replay.
While we take a break, why don't I remind you, since it's on the screen, that LAFC 360 is on Monday at 1 p.m. We'll be diving deep into this match. Hopefully, we'll have more to talk about than what has gone on in the first 45 minutes. And then after that, Angels Wear Boots. It's our Angel City FC show. That's at 4 p.m. and it's on its new day, Monday. So if you've already had that marked to Thursdays on your calendar, switch that around, Monday. So we can talk about games that happen right after they happen. We don't have to wait a couple days. We'll be ready to go. Jessica, of course, has been amazing on that show. It's been really fun to watch you guys because none of you ladies knew each other really before this show started, and literally within one show, it felt like all of you guys were friends for a long time.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like little inside jokes here and there, and it feels like we've known each other for a long time, which is good for the show. And so, yeah, we have a lot of fun on that one. So make sure you guys tune in at 4 p.m. on Mondays for Angels Wear Boots.
Good mix of former professional players, experts like yourself, and then I would say that Megan and the Angel City Chicks kind of fall in between the expert and fan and host category. So there's like I said, a really good mix and a really good energy in that show. So check it out if you haven't already. It's 4 p.m. on Mondays now for that show.
Yep.
Okay, so it was just a head injury. They did restart it to LAFC, but not much came from it.
Yeah, not much, but this is better.
Better.
It is better.
Mhm.
We have to assume that Colorado are going to not be so keen to get forward, so we'll have more of the ball naturally.
Yeah, you have to wonder how much is this LAFC stepping it up or how much Colorado's just willing to sit back with a 2-0 lead.
Get a
Either
shot.
way. Yeah, see just a bit of that stare.
I feel like, Mahala, you're in that position. Try to get a shot off. We need a goal badly, and hitting it out there to Acosta, maybe a good idea, but try to get a shot off.
Right.
They can maintain their level of play. The second, they'll surely come out of this with a win. For LAFC, take things up, get aggressive, get into it. That's the best long distance throw. After the ball pinballs around, settles his velocity speed. Left footed ahead.
Come on.
They're going right at the heart of them. They're slipping those inside passes.
Yeah. You have to think one of these will come off.
Mm-hmm. We miss Izzy and Raito. Yeah, I mean, quality, as you've pointed out with Mahala, just doesn't seem to quite have that quality. I would think that either of those two options take a shot in that moment.
Yeah.
He's well offside. Yeah, we don't need to allow him to go all the way there.
Mm-hmm.
Cheeky's going to want that back. This is giving them a chance to actually attack.
And every time they come, they look really dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Always down the flanks.
Yeah.
So maybe not everybody in the 11's awake, but hopefully that wakes Cheeky up.
Yeah.
Let's not forget we missed Murray too. You feel like we missed? I mean, I guess Ibiaga gets called for the penalty. I'm not saying that Murillo wouldn't have put his foot in there like that either.
I don't. Oh, that's a handball. I do feel like I miss Murray a little bit, not necessarily because I don't think he would have gotten called for the penalty, but just the continuity in that back line. Because I think him and Fall were really gelling before that injury, but Ibiaga stepped up. So
yeah, so it's 2-0, and a lot of people are saying, well, 2-0, then that's got to be a defensive problem, and I don't necessarily blame the back line for what's going on. It feels like the midfield and the front three have led them down by one, not holding the ball, and two, not getting pressure to them because, like we said in the first half, it was too easy for them to get into that final third, and basically then you just have your back four trying to defend the best they can, and end of it all, it's two penalties also.
yeah, and they were one of them was really questionable. I don't think
Mhm.
it's a defensive thing.
Ooh. John McCarthy, more saves. But that's got to be at least 4 or 5 saves now.
They're just winning every single second ball,
Mhm.
every first ball, every third ball. We're reactionary to everything. Everything is a reaction to something that they're doing.
Mhm.
We're slow in the mind and slow in the body. Like
Yep.
there's just a lot of that.
A lot of ball watching.
Yeah. You guys are hurting my heart, man. Come on. Okay.
You just got to hope that this game isn't a complete dud, right? So they played their other loss this season is obviously in the Derby, and that's a rivalry game. The first half, I think they were much better than it seemed, even though down 2-0. Obviously, the second half, they controlled that second half. So thus far, this is the one game where this has been a complete dud.
Right. So it looks like we may have Max.
Oh, the voice of LAFC, Max Bretos. I wish I was bringing him in happier times, but let's get Bretos' take. He's been watching from his home, and let's see, Max Bretos, thoughts. Oh, what is your Mean Joe V Turbo? What kind of name is that?
That was the lead character of the original Death Race 2000, played by David Carradine.
Okay, Death Race 2000, David Carradine.
I think that's what it's
RIP.
called.
It's been a
really
while.
Campy movie.
Yeah,
Been a while. It's an old movie.
Yeah, you know a movie they're making that's probably going to be a lot like Death Race? Twisted Metal from the video game. I don't know if you're familiar with that video game, but I feel like it's going to be a lot like that.
Not really.
Okay, Max Bretos. Let me ask you about something you are familiar with. This LAFC team. And people are calling out Bricks Wilson. But what are you seeing?
I don't know. I mean, this is, you know, when you're looking at it, I was expecting a team to be pretty flat today, which they are. They took the U.S. Open Cup really seriously. You know, a lot of teams didn't play their regulars. There was only 3 or 4 that really went as hard as they did. You know, you see what Seattle, New York City. I'm not comparing the CONCACAF. By the way, I know I'm a few seconds behind you.
Yeah, John McCarthy just made it. John McCarthy just made a phenomenal save.
All right, I'm seeing it now. He's been amazing.
John McCarthy's been fantastic.
We
gotta
know
say, if we could play 2 goalkeepers, we got quite a thing going here.
I know. But it was not unexpected. I mean, traveling here, and by the way, I know sometimes you talk to coaches and they mention the altitude and they go, "We'll be all right." I go, "It's not. It's a shock to the system, and you can tell the way the players are breathing out of their mouth that it's hard to play there, especially when you're coming out. It's impossible to assimilate." But I don't want to make that. It shouldn't be an excuse. But all that plays into the part where I don't want to be too critical because they've allowed themselves to have a bad performance because they've been so good throughout this season. The officiating, there's just too much of it at the beginning. I mean, I was upset. I tweeted something about the Pancho penalty, which I thought the ball was away. I don't think it was a penalty, but Pancho can't be in there. So if it is called a penalty, you reap what you sow. The Ibiaga penalty, really by the textbook is a penalty, and then the VAR review, his feet were off the line. But I hate the everything under the microscope. I hate it, but it is what it is with VAR.
Well, you and I have talked about this. What's not fun with VAR is the calls that when they go to VAR, you know automatically what's going to happen. Like every time they go, you know the decision that's going to be made. Like in that instance, right? And that's kind of boring. What did you think about Chicho being dragged down on that corner? Oh, you got some of those smokehouse almonds. Yeah, those are good.
With that, I was listening to you guys and what you said about the standard that was set by the officiating. That probably should have been a penalty.
Right.
He wasn't allowed a chance to play it. So, I mean, my heart was in the throat that he could have called that on Kellyn Acosta as well. I mean, he could have.
Right. Could have.
But then it's like it's a never-ending barrel of penalties, and you sit there and you're like, it's just like it's not very. Takes the enjoyment out of everything. It really does. But I mean, I just wish there was a conversation. I I wish they put the power back in the refs' hands instead of the video. But
yeah, there really hasn't been much joy in this game. I would say even for Colorado, who's winning. I mean, there's not much. There's not a lot in this to love.
You don't put this in the time capsule.
No.
For MLS greats. It's been, you know, the early kickoff, and this is the UDN window, and so be it. How are you guys? Jess, I know Jess is, I hear in her voice, she's struggling with this performance.
Yeah, I'm not happy. But I mean, I'm more upset about the officiating than anything. Like, I just feel like when you set the precedent so low, then it gets like this, and it's just constant start, stop, and I can just see the hope draining from the boys' faces, and that's just difficult to watch, really. We might just have to tie this one up in a bow and throw it away, you know?
There's going to be games like that, and I told people to prepare for it, and this seemed like the archetype of game. Colorado, which we have struggled there. Even when we were playing good in 2019, wasn't that where we went and our big winning streak ended? I remember I was with you watching that game in Long Beach.
Yep, that was a rain game.
That was a rain game, which I had to leave early, but you could see the writing on the wall, and this is one as well. And look, LAFC's ambitious. They're going for the Open Cup, and 2 games a week is different than when you're used to 1 game a week. That's just the reality of it. So, but back to Jess, to your point about the officiating, it's like, to me, I mean, if we were to sit here with Pro, they could tell you that's a penalty, and you really can't argue it. It's just the pedantic, everything under the microscope whistling is like, because some games aren't like that, and I love those games. We've got to be more like that, and some referees cater to heavily officiated. So,
there's a moment where they just found a little bit of space right there to create something. I mean, they're finally getting the ball at least into Colorado's defensive third. That's a first. There you go.
That was very close.
Sifu's had a couple good chances in the second half.
Yeah, he was just very anonymous in the first half.
Just need something on a corner kick where they've been so good at. Oh, I'm a little bit behind you. And by the way, I know you guys aren't happy with the Tulane, the SAP feed, but I was just saying, the guy Bruce Silverman, doesn't he sound like Ernie Johnson?
Yeah, a little bit, but just like Ernie Johnson does basketball, maybe he should go back to it because he keeps calling it the baseline. It's driving me nuts, Max.
Yeah.
Basically, you just can't. You can't, like, it's fine. It's fine.
Was he saying the baseline for the byline?
For the goal line, baseline.
I call it goal line or boundary. I hate saying byline. It sounds like the phoniest word I could ever come out of my lips, but I won't call it the baseline.
I'll even give you end line. I'm fine with end line, but you cannot call it baseline.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a far cry from the magic of the last 2 LAFC games at home, late at night.
The only person that seems to be on a page with anyone is John McCarthy with himself.
Yeah. But, I mean, in John McCarthy, but the one thing about it is, and you can see the frustration on his face, there is some breakdowns conversation-wise with the defenders, and that is allowing opportunities. So that's something Crepo has really got tied up with regards to having that back line organized and aligned, and that back line's been all over the shop today.
Hey, they got one call right. They actually caught that offside.
How have you been about the officiating, Vince? I mean, is it how level of frustration? I mean, I'm frustrated, but again, if Howard Webb was in here, he would say it's a penalty. I go, okay, you're right. His feet were off the line by a quarter of a second, but it's the right call. But
you know what drives me crazy about the feet off the line is the fact that the AR never catches it. All right, so what is the AR actually watching for then?
There should be a goal here.
I'm with you. The standard that he set, it's the inconsistency. That's been the problem. I don't think he's been wrong in those calls per se, but then when it happens on the other side, and you can't be afraid to feel like it's a makeup call. Like that was a penalty.
Yeah. I saw Zach Berg in one of our WhatsApp threads, and he was on it already with Ted Uncle. He's like, oh, setting an early precedent. And then I kind of brushed it off, and I go, oh. Yeah. When you officiate a lot heavily at the beginning, when you rule with an iron fist, then you got to stay attached to that. I'm going to put this Twitter LAFC broadcast on my laptop, so I'm with you guys because I think the to-the-end feed is a little bit behind.
These are the right subs here.
Some subs happening now. So Poncho's coming out.
Right.
Looks like for Latif. Danny Musovsky, I would assume, is probably coming in for Mahala, but let's see.
Yeah. I mean, this is a situation. Poncho's shown some bright lights, some good spots. This hasn't been the day for him, but you need a guy. You need cover at that position, whether it's Poncho or someone. That's such an important position. If anything should happen to Ilie, I still think Poncho should get some reps.
I do too. I feel like every time
he has to be there.
Yeah, but every time he gets them, it's like it's a weird game, right? The last time he started was Orlando. He picks up an early yellow. The game's like not the type of game for him. This is a game where he actually gets to play the 6. I know then Hollingshead gets hurt, which hopefully he's not badly injured. Yeah, that would be big. But yeah, Poncho is just like, I don't know. How many more times can we point out the situations and go, oh, it's just not the right situation for Poncho, and then just say like, no, Poncho's got to make the best of whatever's happening.
Correct. I mean, hitting you here. Sorry. He certainly does, and yeah, I think LAFC is going to have a good finish here. Are there 2 goals in it for them? I wouldn't think so, but I think we'll see the best LAFC today in the next 25 minutes. I mean, with Ilie there, with the fresh legs, the bench hasn't, because of the injuries, that was such a strength where you could bring in 5 guys that could change a game, but we're down like 2 guys on the bench now. Injuries are a big problem.
I would just love to see us calm down for like 5
seconds. Yeah, the commentator, Max, just called him Mufoski.
Wow.
Which is like a
combination of Musovsky and Mufasa.
Yeah, Mufasa?
Wasn't that right? No. Wasn't that the name of the teacher in the original movie? This is to another dated reference, but wasn't that the name of the teacher in the movie Fame, Mr. Musovsky?
Possibly.
It was. Again, sorry, dated reference. Sorry, disregard that. Strike that from the record.
Yeah. I will say, I was actually going to comment before he called him Mufoski that Danny should not be trying to play that ball. They should have just enjoyed that little spell of possession, and it just goes to show what we've been talking about. Doesn't seem like a lot of guys are on the same page today. Yeah. Moof. Juan Pablo is saying we should start calling out Moof.
Move.
See, we can still have fun at least when the game's not going well.
Hey, good luck with your In Touch with Steve Chernow this week, not bringing up officiating.
Right? Oh, God.
There you go, Fall. Good run. Not a good finish. Yeah, I like this. This is look, this is not wasted by LAFC to have a game like this and kind of ground the guys and say, look, winning in this league's hard. Winning on the road is hard.
It is. What is your take on that? This is the game that they're putting out before they have to take on Austin, who's obviously it's pretty much a top of the West clash in midweek, quick turnaround. Is this kind of, I don't want to say it's ideal, but
this game is ideal to set them up for that?
Yeah, like just get it out of, like you were saying, get it out of the way, and it's like you got to like Steve's gonna go into training, and go, see guys, this can happen.
Yeah. Look, and LAFC has been fantastic on the road. Fantastic. I mean, obviously the Galaxy game, which we could argue they should have got something. Didn't get. It's still a very controversial call. Oh, here we go. Hold on to the penalty.
Jeez.
Oof. Oh, really? So, I mean, that should have been the clincher. But with regards to, wins at Cincinnati, wins in Orlando, wins in Miami. That's a great road start. You can't win all these road games. It's impossible. Right. No one's done it. No one's even come close. If you can win, a third of your home road games, you're going to be really good. So this just felt like that spot, afternoon game, coming off a midweek game with a lot of emotions, and I wouldn't put it past LAFC to find something here. They've been really consistent in the second half. They've been consistent in the first half in many ways too.
Yeah, I want to ask, but I want both you and Jess to answer this. How do you balance this match and trying to get something out of it with knowing you have a game on Wednesday and Carlos Vela? Because you have one more. There's only one more substitution window that LAFC has. Personally, I feel like it's got to be Vela coming out.
I think so. I mean, but with the he doesn't want to lose this game, and I think Vela's proven to be really durable. and is somebody who can he can get you back in this game. Without him, it's definitely a wave of the white flag. Who would bring in here? Is this a Cal Jennings situation?
Well, some of our comebacks haven't really been about Carlos Vela, have they? There's been other players stepping up. So, I mean, I still think you could win it without him, but I understand this because Carlos Vela is such a big player. It's like waving the white flag, even though we would still have some really good players out there that have saved us. You know, so
I know, but it's interesting because you have Austin, then you have another full week, and then you have you have Columbus, and then you have the Galaxy. So this is this is the stretch
you have to think about it.
Find a way to get through. Yeah, you do have to think about it. I wouldn't be surprised. It's a good shout. It's just the bench. I mean, we need some good news, especially in the attacking end. I mean, you think about with Brian Rodriguez and Tajiri Shradi, what that's able to do, because now we know who the front three are going to be every time. Maybe Musovski breaks in there, but that's it. I mean, it was 7 deep, and that's down to 4.
Yeah, I think the best news LAFC could get to start the week would be that one of those guys are back, and or Ryan Hollingshead isn't as injured as he looked at the time.
Yeah. No one said it was going to be easy, and we see it here.
It's a long MLS season. Colorado's tough. It's not just the altitude there. It's you stay in Denver. It's about a 30 to 45-minute drive out of Denver, out to get to Commerce, where Dick's Sporting Goods Park is. Like you said, the window. This is the TU Day and window. So LAFC is not used to it, but they understand.
They're
what
in it a
means.
lot.
Yeah, they're
How
in
many
it a lot.
games they've been? They were Miami. They were. There was another one. Was it an early one? It doesn't really matter.
The first Colorado
one. Fourth. Yeah, the first
game of the
Colorado
season.
game. Yep.
Yeah, and then
that
you're going to
a little
have
bit later than 12:30, but
little bit, but still, it's in a weird
and now
zone for these.
You
players.
have a couple coming up. I know there's a San Jose one, and I think the Columbus one as well.
Columbus
so that's a lot. So you're gonna have to get used to that time. It's far from ideal. And look, it's not a balanced situation because LAFC are getting these time slots more than all MLS clubs.
Right. This is
maybe the Galaxy's up there too.
Right. Their own popularity does them in this one.
Come on, Mahala. That's nice. There you go.
Yeah, they're gonna have to learn to deal with it, huh?
They do, yeah. I heard Ernie Johnson voice.
I like that
was that our first shot on goal?
Is that our first shot on target, Max?
Stand by.
Maybe there was one of the headers off the corner that might have gone on target.
First shot on target.
Oh God! Only took 71 minutes. That's not a recipe for success in this league.
No. Look, I mean, as much as you want to kind of, and I just said, you kind of crunch this up and throw it behind you. It's still pretty disappointing, just the lack. I mean, they were getting run in the first half. I mean, I'd seen stuff from LAFC where all 10 field players were back and they were absorbing pressure, and it's just not what you see from an LAFC team. Yeah. It was, I mean, by necessity in many ways, but it was just you're catching them. Yeah. You're catching some heat from the Rapids.
Jack Price getting subbed in for Diego Rubio is basically setting the intention from Robin Fraser here on how he's going to see out the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I honestly think if we just nick one goal,
he's a good player.
Like I do think that's fine for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
I think
some kind of moral victory somebody has to have, because as of right now, the only moral victory is John McCarthy can walk off this field and understand that he had a very good game and the best game that he could have possibly put forward.
Yeah.
And that's with 2 goals still going past him.
Well, now Cheeky's limping. Well, he was. Stopped it.
Don't say
that, but even John McCarthy having a positive they do their best not to make him feel good. Obviously, a defeat. He makes his penalty save. He has to take it again, and then it goes by, and he's not going to be feeling great at all by it. But it certainly is something to compartmentalize. This is where I saw that fish show, Dick's Sporting Goods Park.
Yeah, let's talk about the fish show. That's probably more entertaining than what's been going on.
It's filler material.
What do you have a Taos shirt on?
I do.
Yeah, you're
there.
Yeah, you're very much in and around that area today.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back there in July. It's my spot now.
So the Bretos European vacation is going to take place in June, and then you're going to try to get to Taos in July.
Face right now.
Jeez, how much are they paying you?
No, Taos, you can go to Albuquerque. Flights for $120.
What do you think?
And by the way, I may not do the European trip since it starts in Helsinki, and they might get invaded.
Oh yeah. What do you think? Yeah, Thickety Wicket says Dolo headache. Steve's sitting on the bench in that way just says it all, right?
I think look, Steve's been a very positive guy, and we'll probably see a bit of his, a little bit of a mean streak. And I heard what you guys said. It's like, what'd you say? The hair dryer halftime talk.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to lay into some of these guys, and they get it. But this is that moment, and we'll see. Steve's going to approach it, I'm sure, a little differently about how this just wasn't a performance that matches what we've done all season.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like you said, I got to do in touch with him on Tuesday. Do you think he's going to be?
Just don't bring up the officiating.
Yeah, he normally comes and shakes all of our hands before they go out to train. I wonder if he's just going to be like, you guys, you're here, guys. Whatever.
What?
I don't know what's happening.
We
it's
have
like
to just throw this one away.
Max, this looks more like your Sunday rugby match than a football game.
Well, some good passing here.
Yeah, a little bit now, but for a second there, it's just like guys trying to just break through the line.
Chicho down again. I like that. That was one of my favorite ones when him and Lala Abubakar, and he fell down, and that was trusty that time, and then they gave each other a hug.
They nice found common ground. Yeah.
Well, we're both rascals in this moment.
Yes. Jesse, Daddy Dolo does not like. That'd be a funny T-shirt.
But don't let it diminish your Saturday. Get out and spend time with your family, your loved ones. Have a nice
lunch. There we go. Great advice from Max Bretos. Yeah, just with 15 minutes left to go in this game, what are you gonna do with the rest of your Saturday?
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to figure out what happened today. No, I won't.
Max, I just feel bad because we brought all these people here and they came here to have a good time, and we have not gotten to celebrate anything.
Let's go!
Yeah.
I'm fired up for every John McCarthy save.
Yeah, the one thing that they got to celebrate, Max, was the penalty save that then he had to go back and redo it. So they're all a little gun shy here now.
All right, well, let's fire it up. Let's fire it up in the crowd. Let's go. Here we go. One goal.
Max is saying it. Let's fire it up in the crowd. I don't know.
We just need one goal, just to feel like we were.
No Vela Mahala out.
Oh wow. Okay, so Vela's gonna play the full 90. It's an interesting choice.
Well,
I think take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
The staff kind of know, I think, whether or not Vela's in the red zone and stuff like that. So they must know what kind of minutes he can do. And so that's the risk that you take. But I trust that they know what they're doing.
Yeah, he played a lot less.
In midfield now.
Yeah, Vela's been kind of floating, playing as just a free 10. Obviously, Mahala played much more in that Open Cup game.
It's hard to see because we haven't done any attacking, but you know what I mean.
Right? Yeah, there hasn't been very much set. Yeah, this is how Colorado's just going to try to kill out the game. It's almost like four corners.
That'll do it. Woo!
Yeah, just switch it side to side. If it goes out of bounds, it gives you a chance to just sit back anyways. They know how to kill out this game.
And a lot of different guys playing different positions. Ilya here out wide, almost looks like a 3-back line. And
Ilya's having to just find a way.
Trying some things.
He's just trying to find a way to get on the ball, and he knows that it's not going to be through midfield.
We have to stop kicking it. I feel.
Yeah, it's been a lot of long balls. It just if you ran faster and I kick, no.
By the way, nice little stadium they have there in Commerce City. It's been one of the early ones that were built. It stood up. It's not in the best. Could be in a.
The food's good there.
Obviously,
I'll say the food is very good there. Yes, Gab, more cowbell out there. The food is good.
Have a bunch of fields on the periphery that a lot of folks in Colorado take advantage of. So
yeah,
it's good.
They're trying. They are definitely trying to bring some kind of atmosphere in there. It's just hard because it is. It's interesting because I will say this, for the way they built it the wrong direction, because you would want some kind of vista of the Rockies, and they basically put the whole press box and everything in the way of seeing the Rockies. Kind of.
And the tectonic plates.
Yeah.
There of a roof. At least I remember there's a time where they didn't want to get roofs in there.
Mm-hmm.
MLS stadiums. Oh boy.
Oh.
Ilya involved there.
Yeah. A yellow? Did he? I didn't see him actually pull a yellow. I guess it could be. Pretty heavy brace there on the right knee for
Maybe
Ilya.
that will be the makeup call, just not giving.
Just not giving yellows?
Yellow.
Yeah.
Juan says, it looks like LAFC are experiencing one of those down games where they are unfocused and unable to connect with each other. Every great team in the world goes through this. I think so too.
And they're getting people want to beat this team. People are, we've seen in the last 3 games, these clubs are fearing them. Minnesota, Philadelphia, and Portland, they came up against LAFC, and granted, these were home games, but they came in there to tread with caution because they knew this LAFC team was humming. So,
yeah, you go into Colorado and you know that this game means a lot more to Colorado's season, especially at home. Like you said, it's hard to win on the road. So LAFC, even if they would have got a point, would have been happy with it. I guess the downside is, and we're just being realistic about it, that's the way it is. The calls didn't go their way from the beginning. But the downside of it is when we think about a truly dominant team, like they just kind of find ways to win. I would say I do think that most great teams in the world go through this, but we're seeing more and more where there's like seasons where teams don't have this at all, like a full 2-half blip. Like I can't think of a time like Liverpool had a game where it was just like, oh, this is absolutely not going to go at all. They're not going to have any chances. Like this has definitely been the worst game of the season.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, they'll talk about the officiating, but this was really untenable for LAFC. The way they played, they're not going to get a result.
Right.
Take the fishing out of it. I mean, they put themselves in those positions. This is something that they could have that should fall on them. It just wasn't their day.
Yeah. I'm not excited about the officiating, but I would, as you just put it, even with those calls, there should have been something in it for LAFC if they were actually playing up to their level. And the fact that they have one shot on target in 70 some odd, now 81 minutes, just goes to show you what kind of game it's been.
They have to have 15 fouls, at least. LAFC. I mean, it's just been constant because we've been reacting to everything that Colorado has done, and that's just what happens. Penalties, fouls, no control. It just hasn't been a good game at all.
Yeah, what we said, it's do well in this game, LAFC has to put the game on their terms, and absolutely has never had even the slightest.
Everything is a foul. It has to be 15, 16 fouls. Like, it just has to be.
Yeah, how many fouls, Max?
11.
12 fouls now.
By the way, one stat was like by the 40th minute, Colorado had like 55% possession, which is like unheard of. Fouls, 12 fouls.
12 fouls. LAFC can't hold the ball.
2 penalties. Not a lot of set pieces for LAFC, just the 5 corner kicks either. And you remember they get double digits. That's that's where they can be very impactful. But I mean, LAFC with a big edge in possession now because Colorado had those 2 goals. But in the first half, they were dictating the play.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in the chat they're being realistic about it too, and just kind of the result, which is it's nice to see. Andreas says everything we do is under a microscope now. I mean, even when we were winning games, we were kind of like putting everything under a microscope. So I think that that's the way to take it. And I'm now more in your camp, Max. You're right. It's a great Saturday ahead of you. Maybe just put this one aside.
Yeah, and don't be. You can be critical of the team. They know what's going on, but to be critical of them, it's like this is going to happen. It's just something. Oh boy. Oh wow.
Yep. Wow,
Oh,
wow, I was right.
no. Smashed
Every
the private
single time
areas in the post.
Colorado have come down, they have looked like they could score.
Oh! Oh!
Yeah, but just to finish that thought for the supporters, don't get caught up there. I mean, just wipe this one off. If they have a bad performance Wednesday and the weekend, it becomes a situation. Then we can turn. But this is not something to get panicked about. This is just this is par for the course for MLS. LAFC is still way ahead of the curve in this season.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely being scouted now. You can tell that people are trying to figure out how to use their tactics to stop us, and so you have to figure out another way to do it. It just hasn't worked out. But every time Colorado has come get up, they look good every time they come into the attacking third. And every single one of our passes is like.
Well, just this was a point of yours after the Galaxy match. When you lose a game, you can't let it turn into 2, 3, and 4, right?
Yeah. I mean,
and Austin's another big test. I actually, some people, we talk about getting out of the way before another big game, but I think that having Austin, the next one in front of you, it focuses you that little more. Like if it would have been, let's say we're playing, and not to put them down, but let's say we're playing Vancouver after Colorado. Maybe you don't get back up for it because you're like, we can. Oh, Chicho's got to finish that.
That was it. Yeah.
Yep, that was your.
But Sifu
great ball
also
by
had one at the beginning of this half that he should have put away as well.
That's a good threaded pass, good window, good layoff by Cal. Yeah, you got to finish. Decent save.
Yeah, that's in the top shelf. All right, this is a good spell. LAFC, keep going. You got some space now. Ooh.
I was like, who's that going?
Yarbrough's a good keeper.
He has moments.
He doesn't give compliments.
I say he's okay, but much of the clean sheets that they get are because that they've got those bigs as their center backs. When Trusty's on his game, Abubakar's on his game, it's a tough team to beat.
Trusty heading to Arsenal. Thoughts, Jess? You get to see him up close. You think he ever cracks that team for a sniff?
If Saliba might
Maybe
go
some
before
cup
ever
games?
playing for Arsenal, there is no chance that Austin Trusty plays a single minute.
Yeah,
I agree.
He looked good today, but we'll see what happens in the summer.
He's solid.
So you sell William Saliba in the summer, and then you bring in Austin Trusty.
Nobody's selling William Saliba.
No?
No? He's staying
Okay.
at Arsenal. Sorry.
Why Arsenal chat now for just a hot second? Sorry, people in the chat. Why do you think they keep just allowing Saliba to go out when wouldn't he have been better served to stay with the team this year?
No, I mean, I feel like people don't always know all the ins and outs. He had some really big personal issues. He's very young, so it probably would have been better for him to be closer to his family in those difficult moments, so he's grown on his loans, and so he'll come back to us now, but we bought him when he was 18. The reason why there's so much pressure to play him is because we overpaid. If you pay the regular price, you're not desperate to see him like that.
Right. See, that's why we bring LAFC nails it, Arsenal nails it, and of course Angel City with Angels Wear Boots, which I will remind you is moved to a new day, Monday, 4 p.m.
Exciting. Show's off to a great start.
Yeah, Max, you've been watching. Like I said, those ladies, it feels like they've known each other for forever. Whereas everyone knows that you and I don't talk. You and I do not talk after we get off this thing, but those ladies, they seem like actual friends.
Just pass. Sorry.
Come on, get off of him.
Figure out what he was doing.
Yeah, Mean Joe.
No, you can tell there's a real.
Foul's been called.
Good chemistry.
Yeah.
And then
right
he
for
held
yellow
his
card.
head as well. I can't believe it.
By the way, they're showing the replay of the Rubio penalty. McCarthy guessed correctly. He wasn't too far from it. It was a perfect penalty.
Well, yeah, no one's saving. I don't think anyone in the world could save that second penalty.
Hey, speaking of some of the stuff you can see on 110 Football, 110 reposting our podcast, people really enjoying the take on Giorgio Chiellini. Haven't heard that anywhere else, Vince. So hats off to getting it going, and I'm on board.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think
So
you and I have had a long, as we said on the podcast, we've had a long time to think about what Chiellini could mean to this team. We thought about it from when they hadn't played a single game this season till now 10 games in. The reporting from Paul Tenorio and Stam Sechko is always top rate, especially talking about how it wouldn't be a DP contract. The team is saying that if they do bring him in, they don't think that they would need to play him every single game and play him big minutes. When you put it in, that all into consideration, and okay, I got to go after him. Charlie Davies on the Extra Time podcast says, if LAFC are going to play a 1v1 style on a high line, that Giorgio Chiellini is a big mistake. And I would say, how did Italy play in the Euros? They played a high line with Bonucci and Chiellini. And yeah, he's not fast, but he knows how to play a high line. That's Italy style. And they played against Spain. They played against, I mean, come on. Like Giorgio Chiellini
and as we
can't
said,
figure out how to play a high line.
He's not coming here to be an everyday defender. I mean, he wants to.
Right.
He's 37. He's easy into retirement. He probably doesn't want to be an everyday defender. He wants a place where he can contribute and grow. And
I mean, how beneficial?
This is something
would that
LAFC
be?
has never done.
Right. Yeah. Imagine that. And it's not just on the training ground, which everyone keeps pointing out. I think Chiellini Mamadou Fall training ground, he can understand what it takes to get to Chiellini's level and see it up close and in person. But again, I just think that, and look, it's not like Chiellini's an agent all of a sudden, but if he calls back up to Pavel Nedved at Juventus and goes like, this kid's for real, I think Pavel Nedved's going to be like, all right, I actually got to take a real look at this kid. And other teams
There's a lot
around
there.
Italy. Yeah,
And
I think Giorgio Chiellini,
because maybe Chiellini wants to come to LA and he wants to spend a season there with his family. You know, he wants that. I mean, I can't tell you that for sure, but that's what happens.
Yeah, and let's point out this too, and that's something that Extra Time said was like, well, I think they should go for something else. I don't think this precludes from any other moves. You're still bringing in a DP, so there's no reason why
they might get some. They could trade for Gam if they want to bring some cover, which I think they're going to have to look at because of the injury concerns.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe the way.
I think they really need hopefully with Tajuri Shradi and with Brian coming back here, because we know they're on the close to coming back, we hope, but I think they need more depth in midfield. I think that's something that if in fact a Chiellini type is coming in, then a DP, and hopefully a DP with pace and maybe just some more midfield depth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this team's not. I don't think this team's finished, and if, as you said, they are able to bring in Chiellini and still make more moves, which I guarantee they're going to. It's just some cap wizardry from John Thornton and Will Kuntz, and the rich get richer. I can't quite see the downside because I don't. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't preclude them from getting a DP. Doesn't preclude them from trading players to get more GAM or even to get different pieces. Yeah, that's just it's not even a hot take, really.
Yeah, but a lot of clubs can't do that.
Max, the announcer's pronunciation of the players' names has been the most entertaining part of this game.
Good.
You're big on pronunciation.
Oh no. Well, did I tell you the story about the Timbers fans after I called the Open Cup?
Yes, Ayala.
Okay. Oh yeah, because they gave me grief 2 years ago when I called Dairon Asprilla. They go, "Why are you overdoing it?" So this time I said Asprilla, and then I said Ayala. Oh, here we go. Oh. I said Ayala, and then he started tweeting, "Why don't you call him Ayala? That's the proper pronunciation." I go, I'm done.
Oh.
Should have been a goal.
It's not meant to be.
Does that remind you of Latif in that position against San Jose last year? Like it's like the exact same spot, except for this time he actually went far post instead of near post, and he just didn't have it.
Oh, a goal would be really nice. A goal would be really nice.
Yeah. The confidence in this match is at an all-time low. You can tell.
It's been better. I mean, they've shown.
No, the second half has been better, but has it been good?
I mean, as bad as we've been, it could have been 2-2.
Yeah.
But then they could have scored like
right.
3 goals.
They could have had 3 other goals too. They hit that same post twice in the same sequence. Latif, no finish, bless him.
Yeah. That's nice from Cheeky. You see a nice little kickstart play by Cheeky. Come on, 15 seconds. Good finish here. Don't get no injuries.
Right? No injuries is what we're all saying at this moment.
Yeah, no injuries. No injuries, no more cards, no nothing.
Right.
Like, just get out.
Man of the match, Ted Uncle, Andres Franco.
He has the same look on his face all the time. I mean, Andres, look, Ted Uncle, we could argue with it, and we could, but this was on LAFC. LAFC was just not good today.
This was definitely on LAFC. I will point out though, he was the first person shown as they were about to kick off, and the first thing I did was groan. I was like, oh god, this is going to be a Ted Uncle game. So he made himself a part of the game, but you're right. Colorado deserved this victory. They definitely played better than LAFC, and the game finishes 2-0, and I guess we're just rolling right into what our thoughts are post-match. Max and Jessica, give me your immediate gut reaction.
My immediate do I have to use one of the?
No.
My immediate gut reaction is let's just act like this never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Move on.
So maybe you are using the waste bin then.
Just throw it away because we all know that this team is really good and this is an off day. I don't think that this is like a pattern that we've seen, like in terms of this is not anything like LAFC that I've seen over the last couple of weeks. And I know we go down a goal and then we come back, but this was something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one that you just have to put behind you and just say, you know what, we weren't good enough and move on because there's too many important games coming up to let this affect that. You know, my biggest thing is don't let one loss become 2-3 on the bounce. And I think some of the guys that have come in for starters need to take a hard look at themselves in the mirror and say, did I do enough? Because this is a very good opportunity. And I don't think anybody but McCarthy really made a statement, to be honest, but he was a shining light in this game. Now we feel comfortable that if something were to happen to Maxime Crepeau, we have a really good goalkeeper coming in for him. But ultimately, that was a stinky game from LAFC.
Yeah. I mean, my take is I don't think there's a lot of tape that you're going to watch from this. So like you said, maybe you do just kind of throw it away. But realistically, you have to at least sit the team down and go, see, that is what happens when you're not mentally focused, you're not prepared, and you come out flat. You can't just expect to go places in this league because when you're already at a low level, there's other factors that can now totally tilt the game the other direction, right? Now you leave yourself in the hands of the referee. And so that's what Steve has to say is like, guys, you get what you deserve there. Yeah. Really. That's what he has to say is you get what you deserve. So let's forget about it, but don't forget the feeling that you have here and how different you feel, coming into a game when you actually feel like you're in the game versus how horrible it was to play through this match.
Yeah, for sure.
Max is sending a hot fire tweet right now.
I like how Jess said it was a stinky game. And I immediately thought about being a dad starting off and changing diapers. And that felt like, you take the diaper. That was that performance. Like, this is stinky. So, just to reiterate what Jess was saying, this is, and the key is it's fine. It's fine. You're going to have days like this. The losses have to be learning lessons, and this will provide a lot of tape. Coaches love it. Coaches love it. And they go, what's going on here? What are you guys doing here? Because now you can show them. And it keeps everyone very tempered. And the key is, just like the Galaxy, don't let this become a streak. They answered really well there. Single losses here and there are fine and are going to happen. Even in our 2019, we took some L's here and there. You just don't want to get into a bad rut. And obviously getting healthy. That's going to be I don't know how many guys that are on the injured list will return for a Wednesday game. This is such a busy stretch. They need it all hands on deck because U.S. Open Cup play, but you got to compartmentalize it. And I think you got to look down and see if there's some other guys further down on that bench that can contribute. Now, you mentioned Tony Leone early. I think that's a guy that you got to really maybe kick the tires on.
So the chat's been pretty fair with LAFC, and I think a lot of that is the goodwill that they've bought themselves by being good to start the season. I feel like even our watch party here has been, you guys see, like, I don't see any tears. You're being respectful, and so they're kind of feeling the same way. Let's go right into stock down. Jessica, who or what would be your stock down?
My stock down is LAFC's depth. Where has it gone? I just think that, like, we started off the season talking about all that great depth that we've had, and we've seen that now we're at bare bones again. We better hope that Hollingshead is not actually severely injured. We need some sort of kickstart off of the bench. We need some of those players that we've been looking forward to seeing this season. Tajuri Shroudy, Brian Rodriguez. We need to see these guys come back into the team because playing 2 games a week, playing really difficult games, like, it has tested our depth, and it hasn't really held up that
Mhm.
well, as good as we thought it was going to. So I think we did a good job with the recruitment, but ultimately, like, we need guys to come back into the fold as soon as possible.
Gav says finishing is stock down. I would tend to agree. However, when you're in a game where like you literally don't get your first shot on target until the 71st minute, it's like you're just snatching at opportunities at that point. So it's hard. It's hard to keep the composure. Max, who or what is your stock down in this match?
I'd say Cheeky, just because he's reached
been
such
so good for
lofty standards. He's been so good, and then he took a dip, which we were all waiting for it to happen. I mean, it wasn't really a situation where he could have. We'd like to think he can do it every week, but 22-year-old player, you're going to hit some bumps, and this was certainly one of those as well. And Mamadou as well. Mamadou just didn't, and we put him at such a high standard. This was a position at times where he got caught a couple times. The back line was caught a couple times. So. And it's not really a shot to either one of those two. I just think it was because the standard that was set was so high by two young players. And this is great for them. This is like we talk about having tape. These young players, you get to coach them and say, all right, there's no shortcuts. This is how it is. So let's take a quick look at it.
My stock down is just going to be the mentality. I feel like from that first penalty call, their heads went down and they just kind of were like, oh, this is the way this game's going to go. I didn't see anyone really firing up the team, aside from actually Carlos Vela. I mean, he puts in that kind of heavy challenge to Mark Anthony Kaye, and he's the only one kind of saying, like, guys, you're just going to let them push us around, and we're going to let the referee control this game. Like, somebody's got to do something. It's like somebody punch somebody, but don't actually punch someone. But that's what it felt like. It felt very, very flat. And the bummer is, and we'll go into stock up next, is like a stock up would be John McCarthy, but like how helpful is it to know that your second goalkeeper is very good? You can't play both of them on the field, right? Whereas if any field player could have had a good game, they could have easily staked a spot for themselves going into Wednesday. So let's move to that stock up. Let's leave people on a high note. Max, who or what would have been your stock up in this game?
I think the Ilie Sanchez proving how important he is to the team shows his stock going up even further. He's just an incredible influence in the back, and it's something that I think everyone really feeds off of. So in a game where it was hard to kind of pinpoint anyone, and again, it's a situation where everyone has to just look deep and grab it. Don't let it bother you too much. I don't think you want to let it bother you too much. You're still a great team. This is just a speed bump along the way, and I think that's it. But it's hard to pick. This is a tough one. That's a tough one to pick somebody.
Yeah, I mean the chat rightfully so is giving it to John McCarthy. Do you want to take John McCarthy? Is that your stock up?
Oh,
I figured John McCarthy would be there. So
yeah.
Just to say something a little bit different, my stock up is having a game on Wednesday. The sooner you can play another game, the better to get this kind of off of your back. So thinking having a game on Wednesday, an important game, can give the guys an opportunity to kind of get this out of their system and just move on to the next win. So that would be me. Oh, breakfast tacos.
Breakfast tacos. Hopefully Thursday morning we're eating breakfast tacos. I'm gonna go with the chat. It's John McCarthy. He's the only one that really could hold his head high after this game, and good for him. Like I said, the only unfortunate side of it is can't play two goalkeepers at the same time.
Yeah, you can't. But at the same time, at least we know he's a good goalkeeper. You never know what could happen in the season, and hopefully nothing happens to Maxime Crepeau. But at least we have that in our minds, So there you go.
Yeah, and Michael makes a good point too. It's like this is a revenge game for the Rapids. Made them look bad at the beginning of the season. They're looking forward to that. Hey, right. Jerry Reynoso, I know he's listening, coming in hot with his tweets.
Read me a Jerry fire take. Let's go.
Unfortunate result, but love the approach from Chirundolo. Right now, LAFC can afford to drop points in less meaningful games. Nonetheless, the result shouldn't be acceptable. You control what you can control, and that is the sharpness and safety of the players. He's getting good at this.
Wow.
I like how he's holding a stand.
Kid's 19 going on Max's age. He's a very, very Walter Cronkite. Hi, Sadie. Okay, so there's a big week. As we said, going into this month, this was going to be a huge month for LAFC with all the Open Cup games. Obviously, now we have an Open Cup rivalry game. We have a Top of the West clash coming up on Wednesday. But let's take a look at what we have for the rest of the week, and that is Monday, LAFC 360, where we'll dive deeper into this result. Although I feel like that's going to be a short show. We're just going to be like, this is crap. But 1
there's
p.m.
lots of preview. Lots of preview.
Join us. So yeah, hold all your takes. Like Max said, go out, have a good time, and then bring all your takes to us on Monday on the LAFC 360. And then later that day, Angels Wear Boots is at 4 p.m. on its new day and time, which is going to be incredible. Hey, we'll actually all be in the studio together. We'll wave to you guys as you guys will sub in. Do you think we'll hold up the board as we come off on and off the?
I don't
Jessica
think so.
hates my jokes so much. It's so great.
Hashtag trending.
Hashtag trending. I know they don't do it, which it's fine.
She's like, there's no gimmicks on Angels Wear Boots.
I know.
It's just
they just bring
Just
it. Whereas
pure analysis.
Whereas
they
you
just
and I,
pure analysis content. We
you,
have
me, and
hijinks,
Connor, we
which
do
could or
the
could not
dog.
be bad.
Yeah, we do the dog and pony show. But yes,
Old man
Monday
jokes.
LAFC 360 for your hot takes 1 p.m. and then come back for Angels Wear Boots at 4 p.m. It's the hottest new show on 110 Football. Wednesday, we are back at Bank. It's the LAFC tailgate. That's going to be at 6:30 because we are going to hand you off to the man that is on my screen, the voice of LAFC. We are the pregame before the pregame. We'll hand you off to that broadcast, and then of course after the game, we will be there for our instant reaction. So there you go, Max. Are you excited for Wednesday?
Yeah, very excited. And hopefully Austin get a result so we can say it's first, second in the West. But the Galaxy could jump in front of them. We shall see. Also want to say hi to Jorge. I got off a very late flight yesterday, and he saw me with my pink LAFC, my salmon LAFC pullover, and I took a photo with him. And he said his wife sometimes tunes in, so she's there. He was on his way to Cartagena for work.
Oh.
So another LAFC fan that's in on us. And yeah, Bricks Wilson. I'll say hi to Bricks.
Hi, Bricks Wilson. All right. Hello to Jorge. We're out of here. I want to say thank you to the people, though, that joined us for the watch party. They stuck with us. Thank you, guys. We're going to do more of this. So more chances for you to join all of us. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll get a win next time. Maybe we got to bring these guys back to give you guys a win. Yeah, you switch seats next time. Switch outfits, all of it, and then we'll try it again. They've been great. You guys in the chat have been great. We will see you guys on Monday.